hard to remember having such a great guest. It's hard to remember how I have to actually thank my co-host Brett Barney for actually putting this one together. I look forward to this guest. Anybody that has played the game of golf or is a baseball fan, professional, as well as, you know, the lower leagues, you're going to be into this guest. This is going to be a great Yeah Come On show. I just want to thank, first off, my man. I got to say it. Well done, Brett Barney, my co-host.
Let me give him a round.
You're welcome.
Also, we're looking like he's working in a ship that's going after Jaws. I want to thank Tyler Maynard for being live right now on a whaling boat. Thank you.
This is my Richard Dreyfuss look. Yeah,
Thank you. Thank you for coming to us live at sea. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no, I should have got. Yeah, I'll get a background.
Hey Tyler, how cold is it over there in Athens? Sweet beanie.
It's like 60 degrees, dude. It's chilling.
No, let's roll with it. He's in Nova Scotia. That's where he is, hunting fish. But I also want to thank our fine sponsors, OxygenFinancial.com, Ted Jenkins, for all your financial needs. Trust me, know where your money's at and where it's going. Also, Circle 285. Circle 285, named appropriately. That's right. It's right out of Atlanta, but they deal with the best all across the nation. They'll get you a quote lower than what you're paying if you're that guy that's been with the same insurance company for 20 years. So go to Circle285.com and David Markwell, Ridgeline Counseling. It is the Yeah Come On show. And just to get started, before we bring on our guest, again, baseball golf guy, are there any come-oners?
I think we have one come-oner we really need to talk about. He hit us up on Twitter at the Yeah Come On show, retweeting our possible Joe Exotic photo shoot. All he wrote was, "What the hell?" ? It comes from the one and only Tommy Chong from Cheech.
Tommy Chong?
Yeah, he hit us up right before the show.
Does he follow us? Like, how is that?
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't realize Tommy Chong was a fan of ours, but I'll take it.
It might have gotten back that I smoked pot with him one time.
Oh, interesting.
Tyler's wet dream.
Yeah. I just want to – thank you for showing me a picture of your shipmates. Good luck with that.
No problem.
You know how that shit ends, man. There's only love.
They dropped me off right before the shit hit the fan.
You know what, boys? I don't feel comfortable with the whole triple storm thing. I just don't. I don't want to go through 3 hurricanes at once. Please, God.
Wait, what are you talking about?
Their backdrop.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about some actual event that's happening. I was like, what?
Look, I'm going to make you walk.
There was 3 storms and the perfect storm. Is that what happened? It
was 3 storms. If you don't know the plot, don't put up the picture, people.
Oh, no, I just forgot how many storms it was. I'm sorry.
3. That's why it was the perfect storm. 3 hurricanes or 3 pressure situations, whatever.
Water.
I just want to say that I'm really looking forward to this particular guest. Does anybody have anything going on before we get to him? I will tell you that I found out I will be working from home on the Bailey and Southside show until August 31st.
That's crazy, man.
I did
back at work a good bit.
I did notice this little, what is it, the treat challenge you did with your son?
Yeah, did you see that? Somebody hit me to that. Amanda knew about it, and we did it. You're right. What is it? It's called Treat Challenge, or what is the name?
The Fruit Snack Challenge, but I think it's kind of fucked up that you did it in the Southside Steve fashion, where you probably used the luxury gold bowl with signature truffle gift box from Godiva that retails at about $200. Like, these kids are eating fruit snacks in the challenge, and y'all are using Godiva chocolates. I had to look it up. I saw the side of the box. I was like, that bougie asshole.
Look,
he's coming right now. Our guest is coming.
All right. I hear. All I'll say is that was a gift. I didn't buy it. I'm going out saying I did not buy it.
All right.
All right. Let's get to our guest. He's got one heck of a resume. It's so big, I'm wearing reading glasses. It all started for him back in high school. I think he was a virgin. I don't know for sure. We'll find out later.
Unfortunately, I try not to.
Yeah, in 1999, he was selected as a first-team high school All-American by the USA Today. He committed to play baseball at Florida State, but that quickly changed when he was drafted 8th overall in the 99 Major League Baseball draft by the Pittsburgh Pirates as a pitcher. Somewhere along the way, his career changed when he taught himself how to hit a golf ball to the moon. With the skill and with
You say I hope it's perverted. Come on, let's go.
Just keep going.
I just with his skill of hitting a golf ball to the moon, he completed 13 World Long Drive Championships, having hit a ball 465 yards in competition. He has performed in over 100 corporate and charity events, and he's only raised millions. That's all he's done for numerous great causes. He's the owner of Royalty Sports. If you're watching, maybe you recognize him from segments in Gold Channel, on the Gold Channel.
Dude.
Gold Channel, Golf Channel, who gives a shit? That's a terrible fucking intro, and you know what? You better not delete that because it's perfect. I've actually done over 1,000 charities. I've done over 1,000.
Oh man.
Steve, you
Well,
want
look, it says here the Gold Channel.
the Gold Channel?
Then it got auto-corrected on my phone as I was typing. That's funny.
All right, roll Tide.
Even better, let's go.
All right, here it is. I want to welcome Bobby Bradley.
All right, guys. Thanks for your time. I appreciate that.
No, Bobby, thanks for your time, and I'm glad to see you've raised millions for charity.
Yeah. Some business. There's nothing like manage a bunch of assholes like yourself, and it was I enjoyed it. Really fun.
Hey, I have given to charity too. I try not to pay for charity. I try to give myself and my time and talk others into giving. That's what I do. But I give to a couple of charities. I have a couple I give to on a monthly basis, and that's huge. You got to put money in your pocket, right? Because you're no longer a professional baseball player. How long were you with the Pirates?
Drafted out of high school in '99, and then my last year was technically '06. It was called thoracic outlet syndrome. The first rib compressed the 3 nerves and artery that ran into my hand. So being a starting pitcher and not being able to feel the ball in your hand and throwing shit everywhere didn't work very well for me. Especially going up against the best in the business. And my last game, it was in 2005 in Pawtucket, which was AAA for the Red Sox, and I was with the Indianapolis Indians, which was AAA for the Pirates.
Well, when you played for the Pirates, when you got there, was Jason Schmidt still playing with them?
Great dude, man. That guy's a legend. I love that guy. He was awesome. Then he ended up going over to San Francisco, but he was a really, really good dude, and he threw the shit out of a baseball through art.
No, he and I were tight. When he was playing for the Braves, we were palling around doing the Buckhead thing. He and I met in spring training in '95. Okay. Who knew that would be the Braves World Series year? But he and I just kind of hit it off and talked, and he helped me out, getting in with the bigger guys, talking to people that had little attitudes like maybe a Jeff Blauser or talking to Chipper and people like that. So he was a great assist. Then I started running the streets with him, and he ran, with Crime Dog and Lemke. Yep. And all of a sudden that night when he got traded to the Pittsburgh Pirates, he calls me freaking out because he's a little bit of a mama's boy.
Yeah, I said he's just a good guy. Like, you got your guys, as we call them, big leaguers. I'm a 19-year-old, 20-year-old dipshit, and going into a major league locker room. So you have your veteran guys that are they're going to try to push your buttons and see how far they can take it. Then you got guys like Mr. Schmidt and Mr. Benson, Chris Benson, that they're just like, hey, let's let you come under my wing, and they took care of me. Great guys. And
yeah. At the time, Jason was living here. He had a really nice apartment, really nice leather furniture. He had a cat named Slider, and he goes, "Dude, meet me at my apartment." He wrote out 40 blank checks, jumped on a plane, and was gone to Pittsburgh. And I had to run his house. I ended up putting like 7,000 miles on his Jeep because he had a better car than I did. I used his apartment for sex. And then he later invested in my bar, Southside Steve's, which I really appreciated. But he is one of the nicest guys. I used to fly out to his house for Christmas and New Year's and just hang out. So very close to him. And I didn't know whether he was still there when you got there. But, I remember talking to him with his injury. He knew that he was hurt, and he still was able to kind of get signed. And I guess you're in the same boat. You guys don't tell anybody really when you're hurt. You're just trying to get to the next contract, and then you start talking. You play through it, right?
Well, I mean, Jason got to the big leagues, so that pay grade goes way up once you get about 3 years into the big leagues. You go into arbitration, and you start getting paid, and then when you start going into your sixth year in free agency, a lot of money on the table. So there's a lot of guys that will play 5, 7-8 years to try to get in, just to get to the big leagues, let alone, 3 years of that time. So the goal is to try to stay healthy. And most of these guys that don't make it to the big leagues, I feel like myself, wasn't because of my ability. It was my ability to stay healthy. And Tommy John, carpal tunnel, thoracic outlet, a couple little shoulder here and there. But I really, truly needed – the thoracic outlet kind of messed up everything else. I was one of the first guys in pro ball to actually have that surgery. I know Kenny Rogers was the first, and then there was a kid out of the White Sox organization. Then it was myself, Hank Blaylock, then Beckett got it, Chris Carpenter. They started to look for it, and they were able to find it, which is kind of just a freak type of injury type of deal. So
no, it's tough on you pitchers, man, throwing that kind of heat and dealing with it. And then you look at people that are able to do it as long as like a John Smoltz. It's just, incredible. But that's so cool that you played in the majors. But somewhere along the line, and it's true, most golfers, or I should say most baseball players, are usually good at two sports. It's unusual when you got like a Glav and he's like, well, I'm good at hockey. You're like, okay, where the F did that come from? But then most baseball players I know play a decent game of golf. And they all, like, I play with Rocker a lot. He hits the ball country mile. Now, his short game is okay, but, man, he can drive it. So is it something about being a pitcher? Is it knowing how to shift your weight? Is that why you would say – because you're not a huge dude, but you can kill the golf ball.
Yeah, throwing a baseball, like pitching and swinging out of your ass with a driver, mechanics are very similar. So, like, when I first got into lawn drive, I thought in baseball terms. Like, think fastball, hit the inside half of the baseball, hit it over the second baseman's head type of deal. Get your hands to set at the top, which would be, in golf, would be your hands up here. And then with pitching, it would be your lead foot. And even kickers, like kickers in the NFL, cornerbacks, like there's certain guys like that, because I do events all over the country, and I do a lot of celebrity events, and you'll see cornerbacks, kickers, hockey players, pitchers. Those are the guys that can really play golf because the mechanics are very similar to their respected sport.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. I'm looking, at your resume, which, I got to tell you, my co-host is a huge fan, and he's like, wait till you get a load of this resume. Brett Barney was telling me, and I'm looking at it, longest drive in competition, 465 yards. We talked about that on your fabulous intro that I gave. But the longest drive, I guess, non-competition, you were able once to hit it 514 yards. 5 effing football fields, man. Is there a certain ball you hit? Is there a certain driver that you need to use to get that kind of distance?
So I was doing Steve Mariucci's event up in Marquette, Michigan, and it's a celebrity event. And the wind normally comes off Lake Superior, and that day it was going towards the lake. And the superintendent and the head pro were like, hey, when you're done with this event, come over to number 7. It's 489 yards. It goes downhill twice, straight downwind. We think you can drive the green. So I'm out there, and this event takes forever. It's like 7 hours. And once we're done, it was like we actually played the course. And we get to number 7, and I brought up 3 golf balls. And the third ball, I crushed it, hammered it. And I figured it was going to be pretty close to the green. Well, once we got up there, it was on the back side of the green. We walked it up. It was 514 yards. The next year I came back to hit on that same hole. I had like 240 yards in on my approach shot because it's directly into the wind. It didn't even get down to the first downhill, let alone the second. So, it was wind aided. The ground was hard. It was downhill twice. So, the one that went 465 in competition was in Mesquite, Nevada. They had a down and cross left to right wind, 20 miles per hour. And I just wanted to hit a moon ball. And the funny part is that I lost. My boy Will Hogue ended up hitting it 469 in that set. Technically, I won this set because they took the top 2 drives, but my Houston Hare hit it 462, another guy hit it 459. So just imagine standing up there and you have to hit it 463 yards in order to advance the World Championships. So,
No, dude, I can't believe it. And the things that pop in my head immediately, because I used to do golf tournaments for 96 Rock when I worked for those guys. That was just part of my contract, that I would find the location, put it all together, and then I got a piece. So, it was a $3,000, $4,000 paycheck for me. So I'm like, all right, and we're going to give some to charity, but not much. We were a rock station. That was our thing. We're like, no charity. We're buying T-shirts and paying Southside to do what he had to do. But that was the 90s and the early 2000s, plus all the nude tournaments I held. I think I think I put together 10 naked tournaments, which were a lot of fun. Enjoyed those.
You're giving back. You're stimulating the economy. I like
Yeah,
that.
but the thing is, what we always try to do is find a guy like you. Because how do you start the tournament? You want to have a guy show up, hit the long ball, or you incorporate them where you can pay $50, and that money would go to charity if you hit their ball for them on a certain hole. So long drive guys, we always try to find that dude. Have you doing this, and I've never worked with you, have you hurt anybody? Because doesn't it always come down to putting a tee in somebody's butt or hitting it off somebody's nose, or somebody has a ball in their mouth or tea in their mouth? Don't you do that kind of human trick shot?
Since I own the company, I try to stay as far away from that as possible. I was like a one-trick pony. I'd tell stupid jokes, I'd bust people's balls, and then I'd stand on a tee box, raise some money, and then beat the shit out of a golf ball. But if you're out in Atlanta, Rocky Shipes, he's done – I would say him and I have done the most charity and corporate events on the planet since whatever I first got started in 2009. But Rocky will do every trick shot known to man. John Daly's done it before. But I was at a tournament in Los Angeles. It was a Playboy golf tournament. And some random dude just ended up putting a grip in the girl's ass crack, and he smoked her right in the ass. And she got a nice little settlement too. It might have been I think it was $500,000. You could Google that. Don't quote me on it, but I know that she got a really big settlement from some random guy just like completely swinging and missing.
Damn.
Isn't that on her though, man? She's the one that agreed to it. But that's what I think it's on them. Now, I will tell you, there was one girl, and I think she called herself Godiva Chocolate.
Yeah.
And she put one in her special spot and put it up in the air. And this dude was dumb enough to hit it. Now, he hit it clean, but I was like, I think we could all go to jail for what we just did. I don't know, but that's what God. Drinking. She was a cheater girl. I'm like, go ahead, Godiva Chocolate. You want to do this? Go ahead. And when a guy like you says they got it, I trust you. I figure you know what you're doing. But
one of my good friends, Trevor, Trevor Macho Man Savage, he's earned the nickname Macho Man in that industry, and he does events all over the world as well. But Dan Beaver, guys that aren't as on social media as much, they're out making money. Those are the guys that are on social media are the ones that are making all the money, and they get these events over and over again, and their act only gets better, and their hand-eye coordination is just silly. So.
Yeah, it is. It has to be silly, which, I assume as a pitcher, you know how to get the speed behind it to hit, such a long shot. But were you a good batter in baseball as well?
Yeah. I actually, if I said, you can go back X amount of years, I would have rather been a position player. Because I did fill out to be about, 6'2", about 210. And baseball players aren't really that big, especially position players, 5'10", 5'11", 190, 100, 200 pounds, what have you. I mean, you'll have your first baseman and catchers that are monsters, but, baseball players aren't relatively that big of human beings compared to like basketball, football, what have you. But yeah, I would have rather been a position player to stick my ass out in right field and hit bombs, But yeah, I was able to hit. I had good hand-eye coordination, and I enjoyed the game of baseball. So being a starting pitcher in the minor leagues, it's somewhat glamorous when you say, oh, yeah, I pitch every 5-6 days. But 3 of those days you're sitting in civilian clothes doing charts and what have you. And it's probably changed, since I've been out and doing videos. And for 3 out of the 5 days I was sitting in the stands, and sending girls, my phone number and stuff like, hey, so get me out.
Dude, you're Bull Durham, baby. That's Bull Durham. That's what you do. That's what, and then you get white balls in the show. We know how it works.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to know what you're able to do. Hit a ball that far. Every dude wants a long drive. And a lot of people, that's all they got in their golf game.
I thought you were going somewhere else with that.
Yeah.
No. What'd you think I was going to do? Talk about his penis, Tyler?
It was long D and then it went drive.
Okay.
Yeah.
Guess what?
What's the saying goes? It may not be long, but it's skinny, Yeah.
Well, Tyler has just so you know, he has a pencil-shaped penis. It's a long, skinny one.
Nice.
Totally white. It's just like the whitest penis you ever seen. Yeah. And then I don't know if you know about Brett Barney, but he has a tuna can for a penis. That's the way those boys.
Coke can Carl. There you are. In baseball, we call it Coke can Carl.
But I was going to ask you, when it comes to driving, like I'm a guy that I can hit between 240 to 280, and more 240, 250 than anything. Okay. And I've got a club I can hit straight, and then I break out a big dog that I've got. It's got a head on it like a bastard alley cat, and I'm like, it's 50-50. So learning how to control it. But say a guy like Brett, I know he was out on the range. Can you teach guys like us how to hit further?
Yeah, I mean, I have a custom club fitting shop, so I mean, if you have somewhat of an athletic ability or swing, we can help you. So we spend a nice chunk of change here to custom fit players, and I mean, it's like a wall of shafts and heads, and I mean, it's like golf. Like you could say anything in this. We got long shafts, we got balls here, but golf balls, shafts, clubs.
Well,
just having the right equipment in your hands can add distance immediately. So, and then you can work on, flexibility, timing, mechanics, what have you, to improve your golf game. And
since we're talking heads and shafts, Brett, I figure you got something you want to ask him. I know that's all up your alley. I just want to know, lastly, what's the best driver out there, or is there not just one? It depends on your swing, and that's where you're using different shafts and heads. Because it sounds like you have your own club, or do you recommend certain clubs?
Well, I started making putters and wedges to give away at charity events. The platform that I was using or that I had going out to these events, people would make generous contributions. They would get something tangible for their generosity. And I did an event out in Austin where I was sponsored by a club company, and we gave away 30 of their putters. And I'm like, man, this is way easier than giving away a driver or any other type of item. And I started making putters, 100% CNC milled, which it's just a waste of material per se, but like the glitz and glamour is that it's precision made. It's done from a machine. A hand doesn't touch it. So all these putters are the same. And people started to get wind of what I was doing, and they're like, why are you doing that? Because you can't be making money if you're technically – I wasn't giving them away at these charity events, but I was practically giving to them at my cost. But with all these charity events that I was doing, I knew that whatever inventory I would purchase, I would be able to give these away, and I wouldn't lose at the end of the day. Because the more money that we raised, if we weren't getting an entertainment fee, we were getting a little bit of we were getting a percentage split. Well, we'd raise more money, they'd get something tangible. And I just had this conversation on another Zoom call. Like we did over 85% of our events we got back the next year. So we were able to kind of scale the business and, sold the sport of lawn drive, with having, my friends out there. I mean, I literally started the company with my friends, and someone had to be the boss. And I just had a few more responsibilities, but I was in the trenches with these dudes, and so they understood what I was going through, and I understood what they were going through. And it's been a lot of fun, and it's taken me literally all over the world. So, but yeah,
very cool.
But everybody's technology is good now. It's not. It comes down to, like I said, if you want to really get a true custom fitting, like you can't even look at what the name of the club is, because when you're getting fit, we want to fit you for the best equipment, and it might be something completely different, and because I'll get guys coming in here that are like hell bent on having a tailor-made club, and it just based on spin rates, launch angles, all the above. Like, hey, listen, this head fits better, but your irons are tailor-made, whatever. So we don't like tell them they're married to a certain brand, what have you. Some guys just don't give a shit. They don't even care if they have their numbers are the worst. They're just like, I love this brand, I'm going to take it regardless. So
screw that, man. Give me the drive. I don't give a damn what I hit. If you give me a pink shaft with polka dots and the head on it is called Flamer, I'm going to hit it as long as I can hit over 300 yards all day long.
There you go.
Golf requires goofy pants and a fat ass.
Okay, that was funny. Look at you drinking your coffee with your little stocking hat.
Become more long drive. You got to reference it.
Did you vote today? Was there anybody you could vote for as a Democrat today? Tyler, were you able to fit that in your schedule?
I thought everything was canceled today. I don't know.
I just didn't know. You got your Democrat look going, baby. I just wondered.
My studio, motherfucker.
And Brett Barney, what brings your ass to the table? What do you have for this lovely golfer? Before it's over, I want to give the man a cigarette break to plug everything that you do, because I got to tell you, every one of my friends that play golf want to talk to your ass. A guy like you, a former athlete, baseball players are going to want to talk to you. I think it's great. I commend you on what you're doing, and I'm excited to have you on the Yeah Come On show. But I know Brett has some questions for you.
I'm just going to fire off a bunch of random ones that I just wrote out. I don't know why. You were 18 years old, and you signed a $2.3 million signing bonus for the Pirates. What's the dumbest thing that you bought in the first year? Because I would.
Let's see. I bought a Lexus GS 400. I bought a Yukon XL. I bought a E55 Benz, and my dad wanted to
car.
my mom. So I just bought some cars. I stimulated the economy as Steve did, at these events, which I don't even think it was dumb. I just wanted to help out women in need.
Thank you.
I wanted them to exercise, right? Is that the answer that you're looking for?
Oh, man.
Good.
No, too many cars.
Have you ever been to Top Golf?
I have. Great
Have they
place.
asked you to leave?
No, you know what? I haven't. In Orlando, they're like, they'll turn a blind eye, like, hey, go over the net type of deal. I think that it's good promotion for them. But yeah, like Drive Shack is right by my house, and yeah, I mean, if you go over the net, you're going to go into the street, you're going to go into the Wawa. You could definitely hurt someone in there.
Same.
I just want to hold on. I'm going to let Tyler know. Tyler, that was not Jack Shack. That was called Drive Shack.
Yeah.
I'm confused. Thank you for straightening that out. Yeah.
This is the same question I asked Chris Medlin. Who has the better job, a starting pitcher in the MLB or a professional golfer?
Oof. I mean, starting pitcher making $100 million, over 5 years. I take that job all day, every day. But the PGA Tour, they've just done such a good job of marketing their players, and every time you go to a tour event, it's a giant party for the fans, and they've done a really good job of marketing their product, their brand.
Have you ever hit a hole in one?
No, I haven't. I almost had 3 of them last week. I was playing with Joey Bats, the Biebs, Batista. So he was my teammate back in the Pirates, and we were in St. Pete, and that close, man.
Damn.
15 inches away, man. I was 15 inches away from all one.
Hey, Bobby, I like the 15 inches. I dig it. I will tell you, dude, I've gotten closest to the pin twice and won like an Odyssey putter and $1,000. And one of mine was literally like that. That from the hole. And the worst one ever, played Bobby Jones Golf Course here in Atlanta off Northside Drive, par 3. It was a short one, man. It was like 175, but it was straight. And my ball stopped in front of the hole. It needed one more rotation. And I'm like, son of a bitch, I don't think I'm ever going to get it. Can you live without ever getting the hole in one?
I need to stop doing exhibitions because, literally 120 days out of the year, I'm standing on a tee box hitting the driver. So I don't play that much golf to have the opportunity really to hit a hole in one. But
yeah,
I played 120 times a year. I probably have a better chance. So it's coming, though. I'll do it, Sure.
I
hope so, too.
How much shit talking goes on at a long drive competition?
I would say like all the guys know me now. I've been in this sport this is my 14th year, so they know I'm full of shit. So like they don't listen to me. They don't listen to me anymore. But it's just fun. Like it really is a group of brothers. It's a locker room atmosphere, very similar to baseball. And these guys are my friends for life. It's a really good group of guys and girls. The girls are awesome too. So it's a pretty close knit community.
If I saw myself in clothes like those, I'd have to kick my own ass.
That leads me in perfectly. Marry, fuck, kill, Caddyshack, Happy Gilmore, Tin Cup.
Damn, man. Happy Gilmore, you got to marry Happy Gilmore because, that's essentially what I do. I would fuck Tin Cup. Is there a hot chick in Tin Cup? I can't think.
Yeah. The love interest, she's okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's tough.
So you're gonna kill Caddyshack?
I'm not gonna kill Caddy. Oh no, I'm gonna fuck. What's her name? Lacey Underall. All right.
Yes.
There you go.
There you go.
Yeah. There you go.
Personally, you know what's funny? The love interest in Tin Cup. She was also in Lethal Weapon. When I was bartending in Peachtree City, that chick stayed there for 2 days. She was filming. At that time, they'd already done Pet Sematary on the South Side and a couple other movies. She's sitting there filming, and I had her at my bar 2 nights in a row. Her name's Renee
Russo.
Yeah.
Whatever.
She's from Texas.
Yeah. I was just like, you're hot, but
Yeah, why was she in every 90s movie? She was like the love interest of every...
I don't know. It's not like she was just hot. I think it worked for her. The Lethal Weapon thing, too. I'm like, my God, you made Mel Gibson fall in love with you. My God.
I don't want to start anything, but maybe Harvey Weinstein?
Uh-oh.
Maybe. Let's not start that shit.
Yeah,
I don't want that shit.
Okay.
I don't want that shit. In doing what you do, is there anybody out there that does this that is not such a good guy? In other words, are there a lot of guys just trying to line their pocket? There's one guy, and I couldn't think of him. I was looking through my phone. He was pretty good, gimmick kind of guy. But boy, he had all kind of side hustles going on, trying to make money doing what you do. And obviously, I could tell with your company, you've got everything going the right way.
I really, stay in your lane. We had a good group of dudes. We put out a good product, and because of that good product, we were able to get these events year in and year out. So I said, I'll stay in my lane on that one. So,
well, what we like to do, and we timed it out. Most people smoke a cigarette in like 3 to 4 minutes, depending on how hard you're hitting it. But we like to give a cigarette break to any guest on the show. For you, it's probably more a cigar break. I would assume most golfers do like a cigar now and again. But I'll give you a cigarette break. I just want you to talk about how people can get a hold of you for charity events or any golf tournament they're throwing, or if anybody wants some instruction, because obviously you can bring a guy in and size him up with the right driver. So I'd just like to make sure we get that out there for any and all golfers.
Well, my one platform is Long Dot Drivers on Instagram. We started that account. Me and one of my buddies, and I just, I've been in the industry for so long that I'm like, hey, listen, I don't need your help type of deal. So I took over the account, but like Long Dot Drivers on Instagram. But I started an event management software company back in the end of 2015, still while I was owning the other event management company where I was managing the guys. And we finally went live in March 6th. It wasn't even a golf tournament. It was a clay shoot, but the application in the software is called Winning Ticket. My team they're a bunch of rock stars, and I got a bunch of programmers in India. One of my business partners is in London, and we're going to cater to these charity events that need our help. A lot of these software companies that I saw at these high-end events were charging for a service, and I wanted to take a different approach and provide more value for them and give them an opportunity to use our software. So there's a lot of shit in this brain of mine, and to get it on paper, then to get it into coding, and then to get it to look right on the phone, or whether it's your computer, it's taken a really long time. But I feel like the Winning Ticket is going to be a game changer in the event space sooner than later. And you're only as good as your team, and I got a really good team, and I'm fortunate enough to have these relationships with these charities over the last 12, 13 years that they're going to listen to me. They're going to let me get my foot in the door. And even though I'm a novice at the software space, they know how I've operated over the years, and they're going to give me that opportunity to use my new company. And then obviously I have royalty putters and wedges. We want to go to custom retail. We've made all the modifications to these charity putters that we've given away to go to custom retail. And you never know, one day have the top players in the world, rolling the putters, playing the wedges. And, I'm an entrepreneur. I've tried, and I feel like I've done pretty well. And you just, when you're in a locker room with a bunch of millionaires, when you're 18, 19, 20 years old, and you get taken out of a sport that, I was selfishly hoping to get, however many years in the big leagues and make some money. The real world's tough, man. It's not that easy to make money. And, but there's one thing that I always wanted to do is to create something that someone could use while I am sleeping, and, to help people. So when you help people, they're making money, you're making money. It's a win-win. So, the moral of the story is that I want to make good products, and I want to make people happy.
Well, here's the list of charities. I'll hold them up. I didn't read them off that Bobby Bradley has worked with. I just want to say it's an absolute pleasure. We're going to go to one of our sponsors. Are you able to come back with us, or do I need to say goodbye to one Bobby Bradley?
Yeah, man. Let's go. I'm ready.
All right. Well, we're going to throw it to one of our sponsors, Ridgeline Counseling, Dr. David Markwell, and we'll be back with Long Drive Man, Mr. Bradley. Yeah, come on.
I'm David Markwell with Ridgeline Counseling. The current situation we're in is bringing all kinds of issues into our lives, everything from stress and anxiety to frustration, bouts of depression and loneliness. Well, we're here to help at Ridgeline Counseling. You can reach us at 770-993-9700, or you can email us at ridgelinecounseling@gmail.com. Currently, we're offering telemental services through video and phone platforms, and in a few weeks, we'll be transitioning back to in-person office visits. In the meantime, Stay safe. We'll get through this. Yeah, come on.
Special thanks to David Markwell of Ridgeline Counseling. Look, man, this is tough times. If you're going through something or your marriage isn't doing well because you're, I don't know, actually staying with each other for the first time day through day, give him a call. Seriously, work through it. The guy's good at what he does. He kept my marriage together. Not that it was ever going to go anywhere, but you know what I mean.
What's wrong with your head, man?
What was that? What did somebody say? What did somebody say?
What's wrong with your head, man?
Easy, man. Easy. I'm talking to me. Stop
you're talking to yourself. That's your voice inside your head.
I talk to myself. Like I say things at the urinal like, damn. I say that to myself when I'm at the urinal. But I just want to say special thanks to OxygenFinancial.com, as well as I want to say special thanks. Come here, buddy. Special thanks to Circle 285. My son came to visit. Say hi real quick, and you got to go, buddy. You know what? The whole family coming in here. Is anybody else dealing with this kind of crap?
I love it. My son comes on every day.
Does he?
Yeah, because one of my partners is in London. What's up, buddy? How are you?
Nice.
Okay, come here. You're knocking pillows. Come on.
How old's your son, Bobby?
Huh?
How old's your son?
He turns 3 in a couple weeks.
Dude, mine turned 3 last week.
It's awesome, man. They're so much fun. And, so Trey will come in and there's a couple times where we've had meetings with my team, and he'll come in after he's in the pool and just runs in there completely naked. He's like, "Hey guys!" And he always,
hold on, my kid came on nude. Brett's laughing. Tyler's like, "Great, I got to edit that. That's child porn."
That's awesome.
Hey, come here, honey. Hey, look at this. I want you to see this, Bobby. Come here, baby. Just sideways. You don't have to see your face. Lean in. Look at it. Bam.
Yeah. All right.
Look at that.
Congratulations.
Sorry.
That's awesome.
She's due in 3.5 weeks.
All right. So my buddy that works with me on Wednesday, he just had a kid on Saturday.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
a little weird to have a kid right now with everything that's going on. Is it affecting your business at all right now with what's going on out there?
Yeah, for events to shut down. I mean, my last event was March 9th in New Orleans, and then I was supposed to. I mean, from March 15th until June 30th, it was full throttle, 105 days. Hit probably 50 times. I mean, I just so it affected me. But that was probably the best thing that could have happened for my event management software, just because we're all in one spot and we have nothing else to focus on besides that. So it's probably the best thing that could have happened to me.
Well, it's been tough on my crew. I'll tell you right now. Hey, as quickly as y'all can exit, that'd be good.
Okay. We gotta go.
Because I'm about to talk. Daddy's about to talk adult talk about Tyler. Tyler is a part of a men's club, and I don't want to talk about it, but they hang out a lot in hot tubs and in situations where there's towel boys. That stopped, so he's frustrated. Then I've got Brett.
Bathhouses.
Bathhouses. Then I got Brett, who's forced his girlfriend to move in and live with him and Mama, and she has to see all the pictures up of the other girlfriend that he went on a round-the-world trip and then broke up with. So these dudes have really been put through it, and I hate to hear that your business has been impacted as well.
It is what it is, man. You just fucking grind. That's it. How else to put it? Just get up and grind.
Here's the fucking grinding right here. That's what I'm cheering. You're not drinking? You have a drink?
I got a water.
There you go.
You want to
what's everybody drinking, man? I'm sorry. Am I the only one drinking a little I got a little bullet.
You want to know something funny? My son's actually calling me right now. That's so funny. Okay. Yeah. My son wanted to FaceTime me, which means he's on his iPad. He gets on his iPad right about now, eat some lunch. So
that's what my son was on. He goes, "Daddy, I want iPad," and he's watching this dude. Don't let him watch him. His name's Blippy. Yeah. It is stupid kid.
Garbage trucks. He's singing garbage trucks.
Yes.
I got it.
Hey, to you and I love. What were you just doing? You were just on who did you just take a phone call from? Because I know while we were on the commercial break, you ran in. What was going on?
Oh, no, I just got a gentleman that, he's had a little bit of success on the PGA Tour, a lot of it is success. I mean, anytime you have the opportunity to go and play on the PGA Tour at over 90 starts, just a great dude. And, he's coming in here hitting some balls in a little bit. So
Can we know his name? Are you allowed to talk about your clients or no?
Tiger Woods. Tiger Woods is coming in. Dustin Johnson and Ricky Fowler. They'll be here in a little
Nice.
What a day! What a day!
You get Tiger tuned up for the match part 2.
Keep it down, all right? There. Jeez. An interview.
That's awesome, man. I love what you do. I wish you were local. What can somebody do that's listening to the Yeah Come On podcast other than drive to you, fly to you, I guess, if you want to do that. But right now it's just so weird. You don't really go around the country. Most of the clubbing that you do for people, that's done at your location, your office right there in Florida?
Yeah, I have a custom build shop. So, if they want to get fitted for all different types of, driver, fairway wood, irons, hybrids, whatever it may be, they come here. And I even though I own a putter and wedge company, I want them to get fitted for something that fits them. So, but I could sell putters and wedges online, royaltysports.com. And people look at the pricing and like, damn, like your expenses are so expensive. Why are they $750 per se? And so they're 100% CNC milled, which means like a hand doesn't touch them. And guys like Scotty Cameron and, the best in the world, they're going to do something like that where they're 100% CNC milled. They're charging a lot more than $750. So it was done with some strategy when we're going out to these charity events and we're giving them away at like practically nothing. I want to show them that there's something that these players and these people that are generous are getting something tangible for their generosity.
No, I think that's fantastic. I remember I had a golf endorsement going for a while, early on in my career, and they loved giving me equipment versus paying me. So I was taking it, but I remember, I looked at my brother, I'm like, I got you. He got a Scotty Cameron putter for Christmas, and I got my other brother some Mizuno sticks with some wedge. And it was just great, with some of that equipment. But I use a blade putter. My putter looks like a putt-putt putter, But I like it. If I have too much going on, it distracts me. Is that normal?
Whatever fits your eye. I mean, everything's different. That's why they have so many different types of putters. They might optically look different, but they might have the same characteristic based on gram weight, or they call them toe hang. It might have full toe hang, 45 degrees, 30 degrees, 15 degrees, face balance, what have you, center shaft. I mean, there's different types of shaft patterns too, single bend, double bend. So it's it really just comes down to the player, what fits their eye more than anything, and their putting stroke. So, I mean, if you really want to get technical, I mean, that's why we have a place like this, to get really, truly custom fit.
Where is Royalty Sports? I know you can go to royaltysports.com to go ahead and get a wedge or a putter, if you want to just go ahead and purchase that now. But if I want to come in and get, like a driver, 3-wood, 5-wood or something like that to fit me, what is your location? What is your street address?
It's 342 Pike Road, Suite 15, West Palm Beach, Florida, 33411.
Boy, you're right there.
Curtis.
I spent some time in West Palm covering the Braves. That's where I met Jason Schmidt, and in the 95 Braves, they were down there, and that Hooters was causing a lot of trouble. A
couple times. I've been there a couple times, couple hundred,
Yeah. What you got, Brett?
Okay, so anybody that follows you on Instagram like I do, so I like to go to war with other people for some reason and just start some beefs. Are you starting a war with Head and Shoulders right now?
You know what? Kyle's a great dude. Kyle Berkshire, the world champion, the world #1 right now. And I told him, I'm like, I'm just gonna post everything that you post. I'm gonna tag Head and Shoulders. I'm getting a message right now from one of my buddies. Yeah, they're like, you got to tag Vidal Sassoon. How funny is that? So I miss Vidal Sassoon. Fuck, but like I tag Paul Mitchell. I tag Head and Shoulders. I just got Pantene Pro V that wrote me back saying, here, like I'll read this verbatim so they know that I'm not full of shit. And I just put it on my story too. It's so funny. But yeah, I'm trying to get Kyle Berkshire a hair deal, and I keep saying it's for a minimum of $1 million. And Head and Shoulders needs to hurry up. If not, Paul Mitchell and Bedhead or whatever is going to sign him. So Pantene Pro V just wrote me back. They wrote, hey, we're not looking for new partnerships or ambassadors at this time, but thank you so much for sharing this with us. So, and then I feel like it goes back to the Stool President and Jack's Pizza, like when the fans are like, hey, listen, you got to try these Jack's Frozen Pizzas, and someone reached out from his camp at Barstool Sports, and then the guy wrote like such a professional email back like, hey, like we need to stock the fridges and stuff. And Dave Portnoy just crushed these dudes. It was hilarious. So I feel like Head and Shoulders sent me, like the most politically correct answer back. And it's hilarious. Like, because Dave Portnoy would have just destroyed these dudes, so. But I keep saying, and I replied back the same thing. I'm like, he's a 23-year-old superstar with big league hair. Someone's going to sign him. Might as well be the best darn shampoo company on the planet, which is Head and Shoulders. Congrats on your business over the many years and continued success. So I wrote the same thing back to Pantene Pro V. So, they're my favorite shampoo company. Look,
dude, I love the long hair.
Yeah.
My hair is a little longer than that.
Yeah.
And one length too. But Head and Shoulders, guys, that's for somebody with dandruff. Does he have dandruff?
Probably not, but still, at the end of the day, it's about making money. I mean, if he has to put Nair, if he gets Nair as a sponsorship for $1 million, hair falls out. Who cares? He's making $1 million.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm a little bit of a prude. I'd have to say hell no to the Head and Shoulders. I'd be like, no, man, I ain't got dandruff, damn it. But
Did Polamalu do that? Head and Shoulders, though?
he did, and I guarantee that dude.
Great hair.
No, he had dandruff, man. I saw the flakes in his scalp. He
had the white jerseys on.
Ugh, it's gross, dude. I will tell you right now, I would be cheesy enough to go with Pert, a conditioner and a shampoo in one. I would do that. But not anything that, signifies that I got, like, scalp issues.
This is funny. So I just got a text message from one of my buddies of a guy with the last name of Sassoon, Vidal Sassoon, and his phone number. He's like, you need to call him. How funny is that?
Oh, my God. Dude, that dude, who knows? I mean, somebody may just take it. That's fantastic. The guy does have great hair.
But
have you, are you,
a lot of
do you have a head of hair? Do you have a full?
Got some hair, whatever. I just cut it. My boy owns Pizzazz down here in South Florida. They got 5 shops. They just opened up a couple days ago. You got Pizzazz as their tagline.
Well,
I like that.
I got to hook up with Kyle, man. We got to bust a ponytail shot together or something, or hair down and flick it. Got to.
That's the guy you need to interview. That kid's a stud. I love his mentality, man. Just got a great mentality on life and just competition. He's nuts, nuts in a good way, like a Michael Jordan type of deal. Like, just he's on a different level the way he thinks, and it's unfortunate right now that we haven't really been able to compete because I just there's not too many people like him in this world, whether it's in business or just like at from athletic perspective. It's fun to.
Speaking of Michael Jordan, real quick, obviously, have you been watching his the documentary?
Mm-hmm.
Who do you think? Because you can't call it obviously Last Dance, but who do you guys think is the next person? Because you know how it works. They saw the success. They're looking for the next guy. Is it somebody still playing? Is it somebody with controversy around them? Or is it somebody like Jordan that really didn't have a whole lot, that just was the best of the best?
Kobe.
Yeah, I like Kobe, man. He's just a killer, man. And like I said, LeBron's a lot different. It's a different game now. Like, I mean, they you saw those guys back in the 80s and 90s. They wanted to beat the shit out of each other, and now it's like everybody's boys and stuff, and it's kind of like a different dynamic. And you look at, like, you're watching The Last Dance, like, look at the scores of these games, like in the low 80s apiece, like 83 to 86. I mean, that's like the middle of the fucking third quarter right now, or third period, whatever. It's like
halftime for some games.
It's a completely different game now, and like I say, it's softer. Maybe it's just not the same. I mean, football's not the same either. You go out and run a fucking post, and you're gonna get your ass lit up by a linebacker, 15 years ago, and be out for 6 weeks, and you don't even get fined. Now you can barely touch the guy, and you're suspended for a month. Or a weekend. It's crazy. So
trying to keep people in one piece, I guess.
Yeah, but LeBron James, I mean, that guy's a stud. We had the honor and privilege to see him for 4 years down here, working with Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh. And LeBron is a very well-rounded team ball player. I mean, he's the best that I've seen in person. I didn't have the honor and privilege to see Michael Jordan play, even though he was my favorite basketball player. My family's from Chicago. They're from Palatine, Lake Zurich, Schaumburg, but Michael Jordan was someone that I always looked up to as like an idol. Him and Dale Earnhardt, Andre Agassi, Barry Bonds. I was a Barry Bonds guy, and Michael
See,
Jordan.
that's funny you mentioned that because there's certain people, whether you go Richard Petty or Jeff Gordon in NASCAR, whether you go Tiger Woods in golf, where do you shift it to look at somebody's life? I mean, obviously there's going to be a lot of drama in Tiger, so I don't know if you go there. Maybe you do Jack.
I like Tiger. I mean, he's a human being just like all of us. So
See?
There's drama with Kobe, though. Kobe.
Oh, there is. No, you're right. There's drama.
Not the same thing, but
yeah, he cheated. He cheated and bought her big ass ring. We all laughed at him, and it is what he is. But I had left basketball. The Jordan thing, I was there. You were talking about seeing him play. I was fortunate enough. I was in with the Hawks. They put me on a billboard 50 feet up, and I had to shoot 9,601 baskets because we were 96 Rock, and I couldn't come down. So I've got a 2-man tent, a portalette, a TV, a recliner. I got all this crap on 4-foot space. And after about a day or two, you're cool with it. But that first day, you're like all puckered up, like I'm going to bust my ass falling off this thing. But I got a chance to go to Chicago and see the Hawks play in Chicago and see Jordan play. And then I got to see Jordan play, and they gave me court seats in Atlanta because we were all painted up with our shirts off, and we went out and messed around. And that's when Leitner was on the team and a few others. So that was my moment. And you're right. When you're in Chicago and you hear that music and you watch that guy play, that was probably one of my best sporting moments for sure.
I saw the coolest one for me was watching Dale Earnhardt win the Daytona 500 in 1990.
Yeah.
That was awesome. My dad's from Daytona Beach, so he went to literally the first Daytona 500, which was in '59. I'm a NASCAR fan. So
awesome.
I've been going to the races since I was a kid. My first race was in 1984. Richard Petty ended up winning his 200th win, and then I was a Bill Elliott fan when I first started. Then I went to Davey Allison, and then it was Dale Earnhardt all the way after that. So once Davey passed away, I like
helicopter crash, crazy. I was always a Petty, and then I went to Rusty Wallace. But no, massive respect. Getting back to you, Bobby Bradley, and again, what you do, royaltysports.com. If you guys are looking for some short game love, a wedge putter, that's what he's into. But if you can make your trip to West Palm to actually show up where Royalty Sports is located, the driver, God, I wish you were in town. I swear, if I end up on a Florida vacation, I'm calling you because I'm going to put this in. I got to see you for 2 days. I need a driver. So it's been a pleasure having you on, and I hate to do what I'm about to do.
Work with senior citizens?
Brett's got some real shallow, quick questions for you before you have to go work out with Tiger Woods, and I really don't know where this is going to go. I know you're not going to be offended, but Brett's a pervert.
I'm ready.
It is what it is. Do you work with senior citizens like Steve?
Yes, absolutely, every day.
Such a dick.
I'm
not a senior citizen.
Tour?
I'm 55, man. 55.
I was fortunate enough to work with my friends in the sport of lawn drive that were anywhere between 22 up to 60. That's the cool thing about lawn drive is that you really don't lose that much speed. You'll lose a little bit as time goes on, but balance and flexibility and athleticism doesn't really go that fast, especially in that sport.
So in your shop, we were talking earlier, you said 2 of the fastest balls ever recorded were hit in your shop?
Yes, they were. Kyle Berkshire went 230.2 in November of last year.
Is that miles per hour?
230.2 miles per hour ball speed.
What the hell did you think it was?
Yeah.
No, I don't know. He's in the
knots, like it's a ship or something.
He's swinging one of his wedges, maybe.
Yeah. So
shit.
We did it on Instagram Live too. Like Kyle was hit like this kid. Like I said, he is his mind is unbelievable, and the way he prepares. And this was like 3 months after he won the World Championships, and still like preparing like he's getting ready for this year. And he hit about 120 balls, and he's like, I think that I can hit 230 tonight. And he's like, I need about a 15-minute break, then I need 10 minutes, and then I'm gonna have like a 12 to 15 ball window to where I think that I'll have my heart pumping enough to where I can hit 230. And we went live on Instagram on the Lawn Drivers page, and 5-6 minutes into it, he finally hit it, and which was awesome. And then it was the beginning of March, middle of March. Martin Borgmeyer out of Germany. He's actually on a show called The Mole right now out in Germany. So he's a superstar out there. But he was in Turkey, and Trump ended up putting the ban on people coming into the States on a certain day. So Martin hauls ass. He's from Turkey, to get over to like Charlotte, and all of our tournaments got canceled -1. That was like a week later in California. Flies down to my house in West Palm Beach, who flew into Miami, comes into my golf shop, and Martin, like, borderline is the fastest guy on the planet anyways. And he just comes out after loosening up, and he's flying. He's at like 227, 228. And I go, all right. I was like, you want me to go live right now? He goes, I'm fucking ready, you know. And I turn him on, and that dude within like 4 swings went 231.9. And the thing is that like I'm gonna sound like a dork. So Kyle Berkshire, his smash factor was 1.51, which is better than perfect. Perfect right now, like with most, or like a driver, is 1.50. So if you swing 100 miles per hour, the fastest ball speed you can have is 150. He had a 151, so which means his ball speed on a 100 mile per hour swing was 151. So he went 151 smash with 230.2 mile per hour ball speed. Martin Borgmeyer had a slight miss hit at 149 and went 231.9. So Martin, if he had a little bit higher of a smash factor, could have got up to 233, 234. So these guys are going to go to battle here sooner than later. We're still up in the air if we're going to have our World Championships in September at Cog Hill in Chicago. But it would be fun to watch these guys go head to head because they're fucking fast and they are strong, and it's just fun to watch. They have the personalities to really have something to where people would sit there and watch it. And if we could host it, I would love to do it. So these guys are sick. It's unbelievable. Like in baseball terms, these guys are throwing 106. You know,
damn.
So, you know, I mean, that's essentially what it's like. So,
being somebody that just hits piss missiles like the rest of the long drive guys.
Yeah.
This weekend is the match 2. It's Tiger and Peyton Manning versus Phil and Tom Brady. On the 5th hole, it's a 404-yard par 4. They're only allowed to pick one club and use it for the entire hole. Yeah. You probably hit a lot. You hit a lot further than us weekend warriors.
What's
the one club you would use for a 404-yard par 4?
7-iron. You go 7-iron because I know that I could carry it about 195 and get a little bit of rollout so that you're at 200 there, and then you hit another 7-iron and then tap in for birdie. You know, easy hole. You know,
relax, Tin Cup.
Dude, no, that's awesome. That's probably why in Tin Cup they played with the 7.
He played the whole round or something.
Yeah, but yeah, he did. He played the rest of the round with it. Yeah, but it's got, you know, you can drive with it, you can go short with it, and you can putt with it. You know, it's a great club. We sneak on. I live on 16 on my golf course here, and we snuck on the other night, and like a cheese puff, man, I'm out there with like 5 clubs. I had a driver and a 5, a couple of things I want to work on, but it is fun when you sneak on with just a club, maybe 1 or 2, and play the glow in the dark ball. And what club do you choose? And 7 is what everybody grabs, right? I mean, it just is.
Yeah, based on the yards, 400 yards. Yeah. I know that they hit two really solid 7-irons and get there safely. So
yeah, that's perfect. I can't believe you hit one 195.
I mean, I can carry it about 195, 190, 195 with a 7-iron. So with my 7-iron, and that's the thing. Like some of these clubs are different. They change. A 7-iron might be a 2 degrees different in loft, and if the shaft's longer, if the shaft's a different setup. You know, spin rate. I mean, like I said, you almost can't help yourself but turn into like a numbers nerd, you know, with golf. But you know, when it comes down to the best in the world, they know all their numbers. I think the coolest post that I saw last year was Brooks Koepka's yardage book for the U.S. Open at Bethpage Black. I mean, it was like every single shot that he could hit that he was capable of hitting with each club and yardages. I mean, that's how dialed in these dudes are in their caddies. I mean, you're playing for millions of dollars. It's not like you're playing in the backyard for $5. These guys got to be prepared. The best in the world are prepared at whatever sport they do.
That's true.
They'll invest whatever they can.
Yeah. Anything you can have to have an advantage.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you're stealing signs with trash cans.
Oh, okay. That's actually a good question. Do you think the Astros are going to get off easy because the league got shut down? Because I think everyone's going to forget about it by the time we have baseball. They're going to be like, oh, thank God we have baseball back, when it was like, do you think 180 Astros are going to be hit by a pitch this year over?
They probably will anyways, based off of mathematics. They're going to probably get hit. They might get hit more often, but, you know, I mean, if they guys weren't in the big leagues, why would they get hit? You know, I mean, the organization, it's crazy, man. That sucks, you know, because I do Justin Turner's event every year. out in Los Angeles, and I know they've been to the World Series the last couple of years, and to know that they've been, shorted, an opportunity to win a World Series because they were at a not a slight disadvantage, a huge disadvantage. Even in high school, if we stole someone's signs, it was because we worked for it. We sat there and we looked at their signs. I'm like, all right, it's a fastball. Like, hey, we yell your first name. It's a fastball. We yell your last name. It's a curveball, and then your number's off speed pitch. So, but that's just purely just looking at what the coaches are doing, and if you pick it up, but to sit there with a camera and get signs and tip them off that way, it's fucked up.
Yeah, I hear you. As we're drawing to a close here with Bobby Bradley, and how long you said you formed, I guess, Royalty Sports 14 years ago?
No, I started a company called Charity Golf International in 2012. I sold it in 2017. But in 2015, I started Winning Ticket, LLC, the event management software company. And then Royalty, I started at the end of 2016. And I like I said, I literally just wanted to make these putters as giveaways that it was special that no one else could get. And the people that own my putters are celebrities, athletes, CEOs, executives. It's a really cool product, and my designer is one of the top independent designers in the entire world. Let alone the foundry that we're using is the who's who of milling.
Yeah.
So that's when people started reaching out to me. Or like, what's your game plan here? Why are you doing this? But I mean, it's technically not an apparel company, but I had to make a couple hats and shirts.
Yeah, why not? That's a
But I mean, I should dig into that. But for me, like my focus has really been this software company because at the end of the day, I know that I can help a lot of people out. And I said, business is about scratching other people's backs and they scratch yours. So these charities are going to give me the opportunity to showcase what I have. And, at the end of the day, hopefully I will reap the rewards of, my hard work and my team's hard work. And, they make money and I make money.
No, I'm sure you will, man. No doubt. And I like where your heart is, dude. I can tell that's where it is. You're all heart more than even businessman, but you're not stupid. Brother's got to make a living.
Yeah.
Do you do anything in Georgia, Atlanta? Have you gotten into any of our tournaments or show up for anything?
I've done events all over the country. I mean, Atlanta is the shortest flight of the year for me. I mean, it's like, I do a couple of events in Atlanta every year, some in New Orleans, but like my core base of business has been in Texas and New York. I do a lot of events there. And then certain times of the year, I'll bounce out to Denver for 7, 8, 9, 10 events. But I try to keep it in the box. East Coast with anything around the DC area, and then up the coast, Philly, Jersey, New York, Boston. That's just a really good market once the weather, starts to pick up, which now is the time. Mid-May, it gets really beautiful up there, and the people are awesome. And Texas is home to me though for these events. That's where I started doing events, and I really enjoy hitting out in Texas.
Well, I just want to thank you, Bobby, for being on the Yeah Come On show. Speaking for myself, Tyler Maynard, the on-again, off-again producer, and my co-host, Brett Barney. It's been an absolute pleasure. Again, the man has hit 514 yards. Now, granted, that wasn't in competition, but 465 in competition. And he is royaltysports.com. Home of great putters, great wedges, and if you can get into them to see him in West Palm, get yourself a driver. Dude, it's been a pleasure, man. I dig what you do, and I look forward to seeing where it goes.
Thanks for having me. Thanks for coming on, man.
Thanks for the opportunity.
Thank you. Take care, and tell Tiger we all said hello.
All right, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, Bobby.
All right, guys.